Hi, it's Trish of Treks of Trish. If you've been watching, this is part 3 of restoring an antique dental cabinet. Alright, so now let's finish cutting off that little piece. Just coping saw, staying on my side of the line. You can see this side's a little bit crooked. I will be fixing all that up when I attach the other piece. This piece right here, that's 1.5 inches from the back and 1.5 inches wide. I drew it as a template. So I have to cut this right here off. So now I'm going to cut my template. I'm going to make it a little bit on the big side because I can always make it smaller. But I can't make it bigger. Just going to give that a curve. I want to be going on a 45-degree angle. Am I supposed to turn the saw blade on a 45-degree angle? Or is that how you would just release the blade? I don't want to release the blade. I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to saw. I'm just going to turn it. Keep it as perpendicular to the board as possible. Still way high, but I'm turning because it's scary. And I did it. Okay, so I have a little thing off. Let's check with my little tool. Oh my goodness, based on my tool, I am right on. Oh, that is so scary. Let's see on the other side. Wonderful. So I can notch this corner off, smooth it out, curve this a little bit more, and I will have my little curve. Now what I need to do is make that pretty curve. It's still longer than I need. It only needs to be probably around here. But I have to make that curve, and I thought I'll just give myself a little extra to hold on to, and I can always cut it off once I've glued it on or just before. As heavily as I can. So here's my block, here's my line, and the way it goes is this. So that was exactly 1.5 inches down, and I'm lining it up at that top corner, which of course on this piece of wood is perfect because it was brand spanking new. All right, so that's what I'm cutting. Okay. Lots of people could have done it lots better, but I did it. All right, so I dry fit it. I still have to do some sanding and that. I'm going to cut the bottom off once it's on there, and that way I can be sure it's all going to be, you know, rather one standard everything. So I am going to glue it in place now. There. All good, all good. Okay. I've taken each drawer and given it a really good once over. If there were anything that needed to be fixed, this is the time when I'm fixing it now before I do all of the refinishing or anything. I have looked these ones all over. What I ended up doing was putting the pieces back together. These ones we had all of the pieces, we just needed to put it back together. I reattached the back. I used the original nails, so that made it a lot easier. I glued it and clamped it and just about done. That was about 2 hours ago, I guess now. And same with this one. I'm going underneath them and I'm hammering these little nails back in because some of them have worked their way out. I could tell by the gouges. So you can see there's a little line and it runs back there. Here, there's another one, and I know it's dark. There's the edge of one right there. So that's where the nails have worked their way out and just slide across it every time you open and close a drawer. So I just hammered those all back in. I found that the bottom of this drawer had almost like some breakage, almost like something heavy, but it really didn't look like damage on the inside. It looked more from the outside. So what I decided to do was try to get in there and put glue. Just add some support. It wasn't so bad that it was broken yet, but no sense letting it get that far either. So I taped up my blocks already with the packing tape, and I've got a whole bunch of glue squished in there. And I'll wipe off the excess, and then I'll clamp this in place. Look at this wood. This thing is beautiful. There. And now we just let it sit. These are the little slots, or the little inserts that go into the slots. Well, there's only 3. And of course there used to be more. You can tell there used to be more. And these ones are made of what I would call hardwood or almost a cardboardy kind of wood. So I think they were made afterwards to replace the original ones. I'm not sure. I'm going to cut these little pieces so that there are many more so that I can actually use some of those slots in there. Just thought it seemed like a neat idea. And I've learned that you start by going backwards. Okay. So it's the right, oh, it does fit. Ha! Okay, cool. I thought it was going to be too wide. Beautiful. All right. So let's do that again. Ah. How cool is this? I'm making stuff. Okay, that has to go in this, there we go. Oh my God, look at me go. I'm making stuff. Keep some of this just in case I need it for something else. Oh, is that ever neat? I am so impressed. I am working on the inserts over here. So here's that one little tray with the flap or drawer. So I cut myself a piece 9 inches, and now I have to take off 1/4 of an inch right there along that side so that it will fit, because right now it's 1/4 of an inch too high and it's a little too wide, but I still have to sand it and everything else and cut this little hole out of it. I've put the ruler on top just to give me some definition. That way I can see almost like a whole board, and I can follow the line. And I learned last time I have to trace it quickly in pen because I make a mess out of it, and then I can't see the line anyway. All right. So there's my template. I should be able to measure it, just lay it right on there and trim it. So I just now have to see how far this is to there. Of course I have tape on my ruler. Oh, brings me right to the end of the ruler. Did I do that on purpose? I did. There. I have my scoop. I just need to sand it. As you can see, I've got that piece clamped. I'm going to cut that 1/8 of an inch off. There's one. There's 2. There, as soon as I take care of the back of this. I looked inside here, doing another inspection, and I realized there is a board missing. So over here, where the tray slides into that stick back here to lock the doors, there's one there. There is not one here. I measured it up, so see the thickness difference and the width. So I cut a piece of board with my handy dandy coping saw, and I'm going to put it right there, but I'm pre-drilling a hole for a nail just because I don't want to have to stress this piece too much by hammering it in. I'm also going to be putting this rail on up here where it's missing. Fits perfectly, I just have to glue it into place. There we go. Now my nail could follow it without stressing the nail too much because I did have to straighten it. I'm trying to use as much of the original as possible, so I pulled this nail out of another spot and I hammered it straight as well as I could, and I'm going to use that. So there's still a little bit of tightness and there's a head on it, so it won't come right through. Let's see how far it goes. Excellent. I can't pre-drill into the cabinet, there's just not enough space for the drill. I'm going to rub it into place to get a good connection in there. Well, rubbing it's not necessary, it just slid right in there and stayed. And now for the bottom one. And I'm going to do the same thing. This one should rub in place better. There we go. There we go. Good stuff. And I'll put that nail in the hole. And I am applying pressure. There we go. The corner of the back of that cupboard with the burn mark in it, the corner got a burn mark as well. So it notched out, or it ate away at that whole corner of it. So when you're looking at it, that corner's really rough. Most of it's hidden by the trim and everything else, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little block to go on that corner. It's the same height, so I'm just going to cut a little block right there and use this instead. When you look closer and closer, you see more things that you have to repair or that you'd like to repair. And I understand all of this stuff is supposed to be done before taking the paint off of it. So otherwise, I would have probably taken the paint off of it earlier. And now I find I'm actually kind of nervous about taking the paint off of it. I've never done this before, so it's just kind of nerve-wracking when you put so much work into something and then you're going to go put chemicals all over it and maybe mess it up. I have made a few little mistakes, but they're all forgivable. Okay, so start that. See how it's just, it's black, burnt. Do it. It's a little short. I should have cut it on the other side of that line. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do that again. So that is where I want it. So I'm going to cut on this side of that line. So that is going to be my guide. There. That time, I got it. And this side. All right, and now we wait. I did get the piece on and it doesn't look bad at all. I have all of the windows arranged. I've written on the glass which nail holes go where, so I know each wood strip should they get mixed up, and the glass orientation. The foot is still bothering me. I'm still bothered by the fact that it is too narrow by about 1 millimeter on one side and about, look, it's just not right. So I'm probably going to end up taking it off, or I'm going to add a veneer. I'm not sure, but I can't let it go like that. It's not perfect. Next time, we're going to strip.